Have you ever seen a crow sewn onto an arm? No. Have you ever seen a coffee machine with a built-in grinder for 50,000 forints? No. In this video you will. So yesterday I introduced another BlitzHome machine, which was a much simpler device, and I promised you that I would come back with a slightly more complex, a bit more capable machine. Here it is, the BlitzHome CM5520. According to the description, this machine can do a lot of things, and yet its price is incredibly low. But before, as usual, I delve into exactly what the machine can do and thoroughly go over its specifications. First, we'll deal with the accessories. And then at the very end of the video, I'll share my opinions. So let's talk a bit more in detail about the accessories, because here we actually have a little bit more, really just a little more than with the previous machine. We have a portafilter, which you can easily attach to the machine. And into this portafilter, you can put the filters, one filter and then another filter, depending on your needs. These filters, ladies and gentlemen, are for making 1 or 2 servings of coffee. It's important to note here that the manufacturer is trying to trick us a little, because with the cheaper machine, the bottom of the portafilter looks completely different. There are 2 small black little nubs present on it, through which the coffee flows out. And this particular design is typically characteristic of machines that have a pressurized basket. The pressurized basket, on the other hand, is typical of those machines that are, well, the cheaper ones and are made for real amateurs. With this machine, the portafilter looks like it belongs to a professional machine. There are 2 little downward-facing spouts. The coffee flows out through these, and you might think this is a professional machine, but you'd be mistaken, because these filters are actually pressurized filters. So there's a bit of trickery going on here. Well, actually, it's not such a small trick. The next thing I need to show you is this little ring, which is used to place on the portafilter, and then you push it into the machine under the grinder together with it. This is a really handy little funnel. It's a great idea because it was designed so that the ground coffee doesn't spill all over from the grinder, but goes right into this basket. And what I also have to show you, and which definitely deserves a gold star, is that we get a relatively decent tamper with this machine. It has weight, it has mass, and the handle is made of solid and sturdy wood, so it looks really nice and is perfectly usable. So at least with this machine, you don't have to buy a tamper separately once you've purchased it. What can this machine do? Well, as usual, it has a pump inside that can deliver 20 bars of pressure. I still know that you don't need 20 bars of pressure for espresso, but I'm not going to share my opinion on that right now. Check out the previous video, I'll put the link up here, just click on it. In that one, I explain why 20 bars is important. Let's move on. So, the pump is capable of delivering a maximum of 20 bars of pressure. And there are several functions on the machine that we can use. Among these, perhaps the most interesting, something that's, to put it mildly, quite rare in this price range, is the ability to make cold coffee. Because, of course, every similar machine you might come across can, as you would expect, make espresso. In addition, what's also very important to note is that it has a grinder, a Conical Burr grinder to be precise, which you can conveniently adjust on the side to set exactly how fine you want the grind to be, depending on your personal preference. This is a really great feature, and in this price range, you could say it's absolutely a rarity. You can more or less see what the machine looks like, and of course it will also be shown in the cutaway shots. On top we have a coffee bean container where you can of course put the coffee beans, and below there's a drip tray which looks like this. One very important part of this is this small but important upper section, through which the excess steam, water and pressure left in the machine after brewing can safely escape into the tray. This also means that the machine is equipped with a solenoid valve. So this is a really great feature, and once again, I have to say, in this price range, it's especially impressive. As usual, on the side here, you'll find a tube through which you can steam your milk or other liquids. On this side, there's a convenient knob that allows you to easily adjust the amount of steam continuously, giving you precise control over the steaming process. And something I haven't mentioned yet is the tank, which is conveniently located on the back of the machine. It's actually quite large. It's a generously sized full 0.8 liter water tank, so you won't have to refill it every single day during use. Well, I think I've already said everything about the machine, so now we can jump into using it a bit. And then after we've talked about using it, I'll tell you what it was like to use the machine in real life and what experiences I had. So there's a solenoid valve. It can make cold brew coffee, it can make espresso, and it can steam as well. All of these are really, really good features. What's very important to highlight is that the grinder is Conical Burr and the grind size can be adjusted in 20 steps. These are also good things. I definitely have to highlight that you can set on the machine how long the brewing should last. With this, you can adjust roughly how much water passes through. It's also very important that you can set how long the grinding should take. That's a good thing as well. So at first glance, this machine seems like a really good device, one that's made for professionals. But actually, I think it might have already become clear to everyone with this pressurized filter that this machine is definitely not made for professionals. But it's not really for absolute beginners either, since you can adjust things on it. Plus, it has a really good grinder built in. So then, who is this machine actually made for? Well, it's specifically made for those who want to get a taste of the fascinating art of making high-quality coffee, but who don't want to or simply can't spend hundreds of thousands of forints, or even just a little over 100,000 on a machine with more advanced features and a better, more professional grinder than this one. And this is where I need to mention the shortcomings to explain in detail what exactly makes this machine less than professional. And well, I would mention three main things. The first thing is that, as far as I know, it does not have a flow meter, so it cannot accurately measure how much liquid passes through the pump. You can control how much liquid passes through the pump by adjusting how long the coffee brewing process lasts, but obviously that's not a precise way to regulate it, since depending on how compact the coffee puck is in the filter, more or less water might pass through. So in any case, this is definitely not a professional solution. Another very important thing is that the machine doesn't have a pressure gauge. And with these cheap machines, there's no pressure regulation either. Instead, you control the pressure yourself by finding the right grind size for the coffee and achieving the proper puck compactness with the tamper. And when you get these two things right, you'll be able to push the water through the puck at a proper pressure, around 9 bars. This is what you need to get a well-extracted coffee. Anything above or below this isn't good either, so you should aim to reach this pressure, and to be able to set this on a cheap machine like this, you would at least need a pressure gauge somewhere on the front of the machine so you can see what pressure the water is passing through at. So these things don't allow you to start making coffee at home in a truly professional way. But with this machine, you can already achieve relatively good quality flavor experiences. And there are still a few things I need to mention which I personally didn't like that much. One of them is that even though the machine seems to have a solenoid valve, for some reason it still doesn't work properly. Because when I remove the portafilter, the coffee puck is completely soaked, soggy, and there's water pooling on top of it. It really shouldn't look like this. After brewing, we should be getting a relatively dry puck. Another thing I don't like is that there are a couple of pretty dumb design choices on it. For example, if you remove the tray, you can see areas where ground coffee can fall in, and it's very hard to clean it out from there. And what I really don't like about this is that you actually can't remove this top coffee container, which is actually bad because you can't properly clean the grinder. So if something gets in there or the grinder gets clogged, honestly, I have no idea how you could ever get it out or clean it. Maybe it can be taken apart from below. Honestly, I haven't tried that, but in any case, unfortunately, the container is not removable. What I definitely have to highlight as a positive, and this was also true for yesterday's coffee maker, is the steamer. Because the bottom of the tube is set quite high, you can fit slightly larger containers underneath. Plus, it produces a really good amount and strength of steam. It's really good, very pleasant and enjoyable to use. And you can make very firm, stable milk foam with it. So if you like milk-based coffee drinks, you'll really be able to make excellent, delicious ones with this machine. Who do I recommend this machine to? Well, I definitely recommend it to absolute beginners, especially those who are just getting started. This is because the default factory settings, like the amount of coffee grounds, the water temperature, and the amount of water that flows through, are all pretty close to perfect. This means the machine doesn't require any complicated adjustments or a lot of expertise. You turn it on, use it, and it makes good coffee. Because of the pressurized filters, you can basically do almost anything you want, and the coffee will still be thick, rich, and have some cream on top, so it's really hard to mess it up, even if you are just starting out. And that's exactly why I can clearly say that this machine is truly ideal for beginners who are looking for something reliable and easy to use. It's a bit deceptive because you'll be grinding the coffee yourself, adjusting the grind size, and that will make you feel much more professional than you actually are. But let yourself have this joy, because for 50,000 forints, you really get a machine that's easy to use, with features that you normally wouldn't get for 50,000 forints. I also recommend this machine to those who want a bit more than just the very basic machines, because with the grinder and the ability to make cold coffee, you can get experiences that you simply won't get from a machine in this price range, or even from one that's 10 or 15,000 forints cheaper. And so, for this reason, I definitely recommend buying this machine, since it can do all these things. And as I said before, for 50,000 forints, which is really a ridiculously low amount for this kind of capability, I do not recommend this machine to those who are looking for a professional device, because those seeking a professional machine will not be satisfied with this one, as you basically can't precisely adjust anything on it. You can fine-tune it a bit, but you won't be able to set anything exactly on it. And well, in my opinion, the lack of a pressure gauge is quite a significant shortcoming. So can I recommend it for purchase or not? If you belong to the first two groups, then obviously yes. If you're in the last one, then no, because you won't be satisfied with it. As usual, you'll find the link in the description below the video on YouTube where you can purchase it. I'm providing the coupon code, which lets you get it for around 50,000 forints. You'll also find the link to the written article. Read it if you like the device, because there will be additional information there, and also check out the other two videos appearing next to me. Hopefully, you'll enjoy those as well. Take care and look after yourselves. I'll be back soon with more reviews, so in the meantime, subscribe to the channel. Bye!